Is anyone currently playing TFT or Legends of Runeterra?
God, I wish.
No, I got 6th place Kapot.
Okay, let's do this fucking thing. Minutes ago, 5 souls battled for their lives and the lives of countless others, against a spirit who knew no rest and no mercy. Seconds ago, those same 5, bloodied and breathless, managed to escape just before the black mist of the harrowing swallowed them all whole. Now those 5 are somewhere else, far away from Bilgewater and far, far away from the harrowing, and while the moon hangs high in the sky, one would hardly call it dark here. The sky is clear, almost impossibly so, with every star and celestial body lighting the sky. It's bright here, more like twilight than the darkness of evening should be. It's almost wrong, like it's caught somewhere between night and day here. And as the 5 of you sort of get your bearings after coming out of Bar's portal, you see quite a few more things. Some scattered buildings, each one in a different style, and a few of them looking quite aged and almost off. And as you look around just everywhere, you notice quite a few things are off about the place. Just at first glance, you can tell this place is wrong. The trees, the grass, the water, the rocks, none of it really seems to match. Like, they don't quite fit here. You notice the water. To the north, you see off the top of this mountaintop you're standing on, and it's a mountaintop. There's nothing above you, and you can see almost the rest of the world below you, but the water of the river flows, seemingly coming from nowhere, and then flowing across the clearing you're standing in, and then down off to the other side of the mountaintop and below. You also notice that Bard isn't here.
That son of a bitch.
We just get dropped here? Is there any semblance of where the hell we are? If I look around, can I recognize anything by making a history? Have I been here
I'll take. What's your passive perception?
Just a 12.
All right.
So
So Yarno's a traveled man. You notice that a lot of these, so the houses and the sort of structures that are scattered around this area, they're done in completely different artistic and architectural styles. Like these are houses that were taken from a certain region of the world and almost dropped here. Like, they clearly weren't designed by the same person or anything of that matter. And so the place you're in, also, I'll say, you can just tell just by where you are, and also basically off the clearing you're standing in and past the river, you can see that you're clearly on a mountain. You can see big places below you. You can see the world as if you're standing, above everything. How you'd be able to see from the top of any vista, really. You're on an Assassin's Creed eagle shot.
Except of the whole world instead of.
Yes.
I assume we got a nice view of the sky too, right here, right?
As I mentioned also in the last episode, which is now 2 weeks ago for you guys. So yeah, you can see all of the stars and constellations above your head, and they're incredibly clear, and they're it's almost like they're closer than you've ever imagined they could be, and frankly, closer than they should be, closer than it even on top of the tallest building in Piltover. You've never seen the stars this clear and close.
Just to be clear too, this feels like we're on almost like a flat disc above the Earth, right?
This is not gonna be a thing I can possibly explain to you guys. Okay. Yes, you are basically on a disc on a mountaintop on top of the world, and everything off of what you see here on the image that I sent you guys, that is just it just instantly, basically not instantly, but after a little bit, it just drops.
Okay, cool.
It is a sheer fall in all directions.
Does the waterfall go all the way down to the surface?
You can't really tell, but yeah, it appears to.
You mentioned Assassin's Creed. Is there any hay barrows beneath this?
No, but that's an excellent segue. So the 5 of you noticed that Bard isn't here. He did not appear to come through the portal with you, even though you saw him go through that portal. But behind you, someone is there. Sitting flat on his ass by a horse, a cart, and some hay bales is a man. A tall man with a shiny bald head and a well-groomed mustache. He stares at the 5 of you just completely dumbfounded, blinking and removing his monocle for a second and then putting it back on and simply exclaiming, "Holy shit! Where did you all come from?"
We just walked through a portal from Bilgewater, and now we're here.
Basilio jumps in. If you could tell us where here is, that would be great.
So the man sort of like finds his composure. He stands up and he straightens his attire. He's in sort of like a traveling merchant's attire, particularly one of Piltover.
Hey, that's my dude.
I'm gonna say because Basilio interjected and like walked a little, like you're talking to a person, you kind of move towards him a little bit. You're the closest. So yeah, he straightens his attire and he offers his hand out to Basilio. Salvore up at your service and relief. I have to say, I kind of forget about the whole portal thing. I've never seen anyone new up here, but I'm glad at the prospect of new faces. Glad to see I'm not the only one who ends up here.
Sorry, the name again, please.
Salvore up at your service and relief.
And Basilio, is there a word for like Gesundheit in this world? Because if so, Basilio says it. That's my joke.
All right, that's good. I'll leave that. I won't cut that. Yeah, that's good.
Yarno's gonna chime in, and I'm gonna ask: are you the orderly around this parts? Do you maintain this area?
Op replies, no. I'm not a denizen here. I don't. I'm here for business, not pleasure, as it were. I sort of just like you guys. I end up here from time to time. Really, no control over it. But hey, it brings the coin home.
And where is home for you exactly?
Head on top, right? I can recognize the ropes.
He snaps his fingers and points to Yarno and goes, a man about town. Yes, I'm from Piltover. Well, let's Upper Zaun to be specific. But who likes splitting hairs? Not me, personally.
Basilio, my man, my dude.
Right.
I beat you through the portal. I know you're a little gun shy about it, but you don't have to be rude.
So we're talking about guns. I'd rather talk with somebody who can hit more than 50% of their shots, if you don't mind.
Oh, please. He's at a solid 24%.
Hey, at least I'm not breakdancing instead of fighting,
It's called capoeira. It's an art form and a martial art at the same time. It keeps me fit. It keeps me strong.
I've honestly walked to the river. I've walked to the river and I'm splashing some water on my face.
Well, fuck it. As Basilio and Yarno are having a dumb argument, you all hear invaders, and a spear flies across the field that you're all standing in, and a figure instantly appears where the spear landed, basically catching it mid-flight. A young woman with long hair pulled into an intricate braid and kept from her face, brandishing a massive spear, one larger than her, in fact, and she sort of swings and rolls the unwieldy weapon, pointing it at all of you, and she has placed herself between you and Op. Roll initiative.
100%.
Oh, shit.
Okay, I get new spells, but I don't even know what they are, so whatever. I'm blowing this bitch away.
Describe her appearance again, because it sounds like somebody Basilio could be into.
A young woman with long hair pulled into an intricate braid and kept away from her face. She's dressed in what Ibrak would recognize as Ionian military attire, but it doesn't. But it doesn't fit her very well. It's clearly been hemmed and like adjusted, and she has a gigantic spear that is sort of like red, silver, and black, but it is wrapped in a bluish green. What do you call it? Like not a scarf, but like a long trail of cloth.
She threw the spear and then suddenly teleported to it.
Yeah, basically like the spear flew across, and you saw basically like a dash of like basically wind over the grass, and then she was suddenly there holding the spear.
Oh.
That's fucking cool. So you've got a dirty 20.
Doesn't matter. It was a joke. As the young Ionian girl prepares to fight you, another voice calls out, "Hino, you have to understand that people who show up here aren't going to be invaders." The voice comes from the south, and the large double doors of the place swing open, and you see a large gray and black Minotaur dressed in a simple doublet walk out. He looks at the five of you and scratches his head between his horns. You lot aren't invaders, though, right?
I don't think so.
I would prefer the term visitors, if you wouldn't mind, but...
And I'd prefer the term guests, but here we are.
Basilio gives like finger pistols to this guy.
He gives them right back.
And he says, and Basilio shouts, "My dude."
So the Minotaur walks over and like physically places himself between you and the girl he just called Hino, and basically puts his hand on the spear and like, down, girl. And it kind of diffuses the situation, as it were.
Where are we?
He points to a sign above the door of the building he just walked out of, which reads Tallest Tavern, and he says, "You're on top of the world." Frankly, that's the best answer I have for you. It's just sort of a place people end up sometimes, and you're people.
Yeah, we're all just wandering travelers ending up here, and he kind of puts his hand on the spear that has been like tilted down from Hino, And it's like, speaking of, do you
Basilio, take 21 damage.
actually?
Yeah.
What kind of damage?
Lightning. As you touch the spear, an arc of red lightning skips off of it and against your hand. So you notice that when the Minotaur touched the spear, he actually touched like where Hino's hand was, which is around the cloth, and like he pushed it down. You touched basically metal part of the spear, and the red lightning arced off of it and just like surges through your entire body, and you take 21 damage.
I just see him take damage. I'm like, easy. He's an all-night bender. He's the life of the party. He drinks, he dances. The village goon in his town. Sorry about that.
The Minotaur looks concerned, but doesn't move to do anything, and Hino does not react in any way. She seems cool with what just happened. She has she's lowered her guard a little bit, but she's still very much like, she's still holding a spear at you guys.
I'll just say, like, Basilio, you probably shouldn't touch things that aren't yours.
Yeah, who would ever do that?
As Yarno speaks, from the north, you guys hear a, let's just call it vaguely familiar voice. Oh, 5 more will appear. That was literal, I see. Well, yes, of course, I knew that. Just as I suspected, actually. The voice comes from a figure approaching from the north, walking down that loose stone path, and upon a secondary look, actually, there's 2 figures there, and the voice is from the smaller of the 2. A bushy-haired yordle, not particularly well-kempt in any way, holding a large wooden staff with a knotted head, walking beside a large Targonian man with his hands folded behind his back, dressed in a very immaculately made robe with some sort of golden accoutrement and like accessories and such.
Do I recognize the yordle?
You recognize that they are a yordle. Yordles that are from Runeterra tend to dress more like common Runeterrans, and yordles from Bandle City dress in more, I would say, mystical wear. Think of how Lulu dresses, for example.
Yeah.
And this yordle isn't dressed either way, really. Their clothing is very old-fashioned and not as I said, not well kempt. Like they haven't taken a lot of effort to keep their clothing in any good condition.
Okay.
And the large Targonian man speaks. Oh well, then I see we have new guests here. Welcome, all of you, to the top of the world.
I mean, we're physically on top of the world.
Yeah.
I think that part's pretty clear.
My apologies. It's not the simplest thing to explain, but quite literally, yes, this is the top of the world. How can I? And he sort of like gets caught up in almost explaining it. And the yordle taps his staff against the chest of the Targaryen and goes, "Allow me." And he whisks the staff out in front of him, and you see the world. It's shown in the same way that Bard showed it before, that sort of shimmering golden light. You see the globe over Runeterra spin, and it stops just near Targon, and it goes a little bit further, and there is another mountain. And it zooms into that mountain, and it goes up. It zooms into the mountain, and it actually goes to the slope of the mountain, and then climbs and climbs and climbs past the clouds, past anything, past any life, past the stars almost, and there is where you are. And you see, once again, in immaculate detail, and sort of the way where the longer you look at it, the more detail you can see everything. And you can even see the sort of arrangement you're all standing in, and you can even see the miniature display of the world again. and it's one of those things you can keep looking deeper and deeper, and you have to sort of like...
Basilio squints at the model a little bit and says, is there any healers on top of the world? Or... Because Jaboy just took a lot of lightning damage.
The yordle person responds with, "Well, you shouldn't be touching things that don't belong to you."
Hey, that sounds familiar.
Can I have everyone's passive perceptions?
12.
11.
17.
14.
Okay.
9.
Deltram and Deltram and Akram. You guys see over back where, sort of roughly where the Targonian and the yordle came from. Someone is crossing that bridge over there with a large stone in the middle of it. A tall and nicely dressed woman in a well-stitched dress. She's approaching but not actually coming across the bridge, more watching you guys from a distance. She's fixing her pinch-nose glasses and looks over at the party, but doesn't sort of speak or engage with you guys in any way. But she is watching the conversation.
I mean, like, I waved to her, and I guess I'll ask the yordle and the Targonian, like, who's that?
The Minotaur actually speaks up. Oh, don't mind Bella. She's not the most talkative of the group.
We don't even really know your guys' names. I mean, I am Yarno, explorer extraordinaire. I'm sure many of you have heard of me. And these are some compatriots of mine, and they can probably introduce themselves the way they see fit.
As you say, you might have heard of me. Everyone looks to the large Targonian man, who just shrugs. And he's the one who speaks. Yes. My apologies once again. We're not known for our manners. We don't get many guests, as you might imagine. I'm Kaon, and then he points to the girl with the spear. That is Hino. He like flicks the head of the Yordle. This is Brush, and our large friend here is Torum.
So are you all a group minus Salavore over there?
Oh, yes, of course. Salavore is a compatriot of ours. He sort of, well, appears from time to time. There's not much of a say behind it, but he delivers us goods, trinkets, the like.
Trinkets?
Yes, trinkets. And he looks kind of confused as to what's going on.
Do you all live here?
And now Brush, the Yordle, speaks up. Well, more or less. It's not living here so much as a permanent to semi-permanent engagement in which we are not allowed to leave here. And Kaon interjects with that. Not allowed to leave is the wrong term.
Basilio's
what's the
instantly
right term?
uncomfortable by this.
I also bristle a bit at that.
Basilio didn't like Bilgewater. He didn't like here. I'm beginning to think he really doesn't like anywhere.
Listen, we were allowed to leave Bilgewater.
Torum interjects. He goes, I think we have a lot to discuss, and judging by the fact that they all look like crap, I think we could all use a little bit of food, drink, and rest, perhaps? Torum, gestures with his open arm to the, which now you recognize as a tavern that he came out of, and sort of says, hey, let's all go in there.
I walk to the tavern.
All right. The gang enters the tavern, and they see, it's a tavern. It's frankly weird that a tavern is up here. You can't imagine there's many patrons. Well-kept tables, a heavy stack of barrels marked either ale or wine, and a door with kitchen paint on it, and a pretty nice font. Torum goes behind the bar and starts fixing a basically tray full of drinks. And Brush, Kaon, and Salavore move to the table and sort of gesture for everyone to grab a chair.
Okay, well, I'll stand up on a seat because I have to do that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm down. I'm sitting down.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time.
You must have a slew of questions, I presume. Where can we start to begin to answer them?
There's trinkets.
Jesus fucking Christ.
The round singing man bring you all here too.
And by brown singing man, he means bard.
Kaon nods. He goes, "Oh yes. We've all been brought here by the caretaker. For various reasons, I suppose is the best way of saying it to you."
I would like to revisit vis-a-vis the conversation about not being able to leave here.
Kaon gestures to Salavore, and he goes, "Well, I suppose you would have the most insight into that, Mr. Opp." And he nods. He goes, "Yes. Well, as you see, I don't live here. I just happen to come here. Occasionally, when I'm taking my horse and I along our many travels, I just wind up in this forest, and I pull aside, and here I am. And then I go back out into the forest, and I'm somewhere else." And Kaon interjects once again. That's not to say I don't believe you'll be able to leave. It's just a matter of sort of why you were brought here. And Torum brings the drinks over and starts setting them down, and he goes, "To speak plainly, some of us aren't supposed to leave because we're here for a reason that means we can't leave."
Why were each of you brought here then?
And everyone gets kind of nervous at that question.
Basilio's like, "Are y'all prisoners?
They're
Did y'all do
absolutely
bad
criminals.
stuff?"
Brush is the one to interject this time. They're all here because what they would have done would have ended the world.
Does that include you, Brush? Brush.
And everyone looks to Brush almost as if they've never even thought to ask that question. And Brush just goes, "I've been here since before Bandle City, and I'll be here after everything."
Oh, I've not heard of Brush, dude.
So if you existed before Bandle City and all that jazz and you're here, are you like the caretaker of this place? Not like the caretaker, because that's
well,
bars,
yes.
but
I mean, you got it there. The caretaker is the caretaker of this place. I speak on behalf of the caretaker. And Kaon interjects, he's a translator mostly. Torum, like, who's like leaning over the table, he's got a drink of his own now, and she goes, it's a coin, buddy.
I put the coin in his hand, barred face up.
You put it in this massive Minotaur's hand, and he goes, huh, and then tosses it, and it flips and lands on the other side, and then he offers it over to Kaon and Brush snatches it before Kaon can actually grab it, and he's looking it over, and he goes, that is peculiar. And Kaon holds his hand out, and you see light emanate from it. Sort of that golden and silver strandy light that you saw that Bard used before, and it basically, like, goes at the coin. Like, it's like little tendrils that are, like, snipping and grabbing at it, as if he's trying to glean some sort of information from it. And he goes, that's not from here. That's not from Runeterra.
What if I were to say there's two of them?
You take out the second coin, and the Brush, like, hops on the table and snatches it from you, and starts to look at it as well. And he goes, they're the same but different. And Torum just goes, just smacks his forehead. Kaon does the same thing to that coin, and he goes, no, they're the exact same coin.
We still don't know why we're specifically brought here. You guys are well aware. I mean, besides being well adventured,
were you roughly about to end the world? That would be the first reason you were brought here.
We were roughly about to save the world.
Unless Basilio's,
or at least the worst part of the world.
So as you say that last part, Brush sort of like looks up suddenly, as if he just realized something. Wait, Bard brought all 5 of you here at the same time. He like leans forward to sort of like listen to what Yarno's saying. He goes, did he give you anything?
The chimes.
Chimes. And Brush seems very excited at that. And Kaon looks confused. Brush stands up from the table and goes, follow me right now. And he walks out the door of the tavern.
I follow him.
Off we go. Yep.
I follow him.
Who else is going with him? Is anybody else walking away with him?
Torum is staying put. Kaon is following. Hino is still outside the tavern.
Did the other coin get given back to?
Yes.
My okay.
Oh, Hino was outside the whole time?
Hino never came inside. Op goes to like follow you guys, and Torum grabs him by the collar and pulls him back. He's like, not you. Kaon and Brush lead 5 of you over to that bridge with the rock in the middle, where the woman is still standing. She's now leaning on the railing of the bridge and like looking out in the water. And as she hears you guys approaching, she sort of turns, and Kaon speaks, Denabella, how are you? And she doesn't respond. But as you guys are walking over, she walks back to the other side of the bridge from where she came.
When she passed by, did she have any noticeable traits of any region?
Yes. You recognize her, the sort of like well-made gown that she's wearing, or dress she's wearing, as Noxian in nature.
Oh wow! Oh baby!
But I would say it's more provincial Noxian, like one of the outlying lands of Noxus rather than Noxus Prime.
It's just my type. Not at all.
Basilia makes a comment. Man, the women at the top of the world really aren't the most friendly, huh?
Brush chimes in with, women are not of your concern right now. And then he points at Basilia and goes, that chime, in the water.
Basilia goes, first off, women are always of my concern.
Hey,
especially right now. And secondly, he throws the chime into the water.
Basilio, if you want, I can introduce you to some women in Bandle City.
Basilia says, are the women in Bandle City like you?
No, much better. Much better.
You toss your chime over the edge of that rock you're all standing on, and it sinks into the water, and then you see a flash of light. And Basilio, roll a D100.
I do have that. I got an 87.
Oh, this is
a wrapped parcel floats down the river, once again coming out of nowhere, just as the water does, and it washes up on a low part of the rock you're all standing on. Kaon gestures to Basilio and then to the parcel.
I reach forth and grab the parcel.
Basilio, you have been granted the Targonian climbing rope.
Okay.
60 feet of enchanted rope. The user can use their action, or freely outside of combat, to attach the rope to anything within 60 feet. The rope will tie around the object, and the rope can only be disconnected by the user or by being damaged.
That's awesome, actually.
The rope has 20 AC and 2 hit points.
That's sick.
You have advantage on any dex, con, or strength check that is affected by the rope.
That's really good.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, shit. What the title again is Targonian?
Targonian climbing rope.
That's kind of rad.
You're saying if we just throw these chimes in the water, they give us trinkets? Goods? What's going on here?
Trinkets is a word for them, I suppose. So we don't fully understand what the chimes are. In fact, I haven't seen them since I came up here, but they offer some sort of tie to the items Bard has collected, sort of the things he values, I suppose, and they turn into them. When Bard collects items from the world, he exchanges them. Bard can't just take things. He has to keep the balance. So these chimes are the equivalent of the item. He takes the chime to the world, and the item is here. Although, not anymore, obviously, as he points to the Targonian rope that you have, Basilia. This is gonna take a hot second, so let's just start going down the line. Ebrak, go ahead and throw your chime.
92.
So Ebrak, you toss your chime into the water, the same thing happens, it turns to light, and then a parcel floats down the river and lands on the bank of this rock you're standing on. You go to unwrap it, and in it you find a pair of broken glasses? You have received Inspector Drawers' glasses. His name is Drawers. These glasses can be put on at any time. While wearing the glasses, any inanimate objects will appear where they were exactly 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 4 seconds ago. If an item has moved, the wearer will see a faint glow around the item, intensified by how far the item has been moved in that time frame.
That's awesome. What?
That's hilariously specific.
Hey, you don't know. What do you know about Inspector Drawers?
Nothing.
Oh.
If you don't want those, I might have a deal for you. I got this padlock, let me tell you.
All right, Yarno, go ahead. You're next.
I got an 80 exactly.
Okay, Yarno, you have received the flamethrower.
Whoa, wait.
The flamethrower is a small canister with a hinge and a clasping lock on the top. The flamethrower can consume any fire up to the equivalent of 1 liquid gallon. Upon filling the flamethrower, the user can open the canister of the device and empty it, pouring out the liquid contents.
That's awesome. What?
So you can pick up and then release fire.
Yes.
Wait, that's gonna be like a fucking water thing. It's gonna be super shitty, and it's gonna be like, oh, that's not throwing flames at all.
Deltram, go ahead.
I toss it in. Oh, fucking 84.
Oh, wow, this is actually fucking perfect for Deltram. Deltram, you have received the Rune Guard's Pendant. Every time the user casts a spell that consumes a spell slot, roll 1d4 times that spell slot number. So if it's a level 2 spell slot, you roll 2 d4s. The user can store the number rolled as a charge and expend that charge anytime they are attacked. The number will be added to their AC for this attack.
What?
Oh, that's really good. Holy shit.
What?
Oh, can I cast the spell right now just to try it out?
And last, Akram, what do you got?
I got a 69.
No fucking way.
I got a 69.
Alright, you have received the comedically small invisibility cape. A 1 foot of 1 foot bolt of cloth that once per day can turn completely invisible and undetectable for 1 hour. Anything fully concealed by the cloth will also be invisible. This effect cannot be turned off early. The cape is immune to everything.
How big is that cape in comparison to me?
And Brush speaks up. I've only seen one group of people with those before. And then he points to Kaon, his ilk. And they specifically were given those items because they weren't supposed to stay here.
Well, they're obviously here.
Kaon speaks up at that, Yarno. He goes, No, they're not.
This mofo got left behind.
Or they all died.
Yeah, they all died.
How did they get out of here?
And Brush goes, well, once again, it's not an exact... What's the word? And you actually hear for the first time the woman speak up. The well-dressed Noxian woman, Danabella. Science, Brush. Oh yes, not an exact science. Well, same way we ended up here originally. Sometimes the portals just open and people go places.
Well, why wouldn't you leave when given the opportunity?
Some of us can't go through those portals, Kaon answers. Kaon tried once. He just walked right through it, but he was still here.
So you have to be chosen, basically, to go through the portals.
Hey, that means we were chosen.
Wait. So Kaon came here with a group of people, and they could all leave, but he couldn't.
Correct.
Oh, that fucking sucks.
I feel like Basilio would really like that if he was able to leave, but all of us were able to stay. I whispered to the Ebrak, if you don't want those glasses, I can make a fair trade for you.
I just dropped them into Yarno's hands.
Oh, I honor him and say I give him the.
Basilio says, Kaon, when the rest of your crew left here, was there like a determinate time before the portals appeared, or could they command the portals at will?
Well, they only left the one time, so I don't really have an answer for that question.
Maybe they're still out there.
How long ago was that? How long have you been here?
Kaon looks confused. And he looks to Brush, and Brush goes, let's not worry about that right now.
Oh, time doesn't flow normally here, does it?
Once again, Denabella, who's like actually taking a couple more steps down the bridge towards you guys, she goes, No, it does not. It does not flow normal. Nothing here is normal.
You mean I'm never gonna get a name day ever again? Good.
So let's say that the place we came from was getting, harrowed.
And Brush gets an idea at that and snaps his fingers. He goes, I can solve that problem. And he waves his wand once again, and you see the world. And it spins, and you see Bilgewater. And it zooms and zooms and zooms, and you see Bilgewater, and there's no harrowing. You see people milling about, you see people rebuilding, you see people walking with like hammers and lumber and all that. And it's, from what you can tell, in Bilgewater, it's daytime.
Well, it's a shame we can't send Basilio back there. It looks nice.
Wait.
I looked at the girl. What is your story?
I've been here for way too long, and I can't fucking leave. And she turns and walks away back to her side of the bridge and out of sight.
I elbow Basilio. Now's your chance. Go seduce the woman.
I love Yarno and Basilio fucking boys cruise like wingmanning each other.
Brush, as a yordle to yordle, what did you potentially do to maybe bring about the total destruction of annihilation of this world we're in? I mean, you could tell me, of all people.
Well, that's a bit of a complicated one compared to the rest of the guys here. I cast a spell when the world was young.
Basilio looks over to Deltram and like nudges him, and is like, you could learn a thing or two from this guy.
Sorry, Basilio, you asked a question before Yarno did. What was it? I felt like it needed to be answered, actually.
I think it was just me saying like, oh, Denabella also has done something to bring about the end of the world.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask her that question if she's walking away.
No. She's already gone. I'm gonna say you sort of ask it like kind of jokingly to Kaon and Brush, and they kind of look at each other, and Kaon goes, "Oh, I mean, she was definitely the most dangerous, right?" And Brush goes, one of the girls was, certainly.
Basilio's like, oh man, it's just my type.
It's just Basilio's type.
Well, understandably, I understand that you had a fight with what would have ended the world, presumably, and you're probably tired. Perhaps our Minotaur friend was correct, and a bit of rest and reprieve is needed before we, I suppose while Brush and I figure out what to actually do. You see, it's not often that people are dropped here, and the caretaker doesn't also come, but, well, here you are, and I don't see Bard anywhere.
Okay, we at least know that if the merchant can go in and out of this area, that there is some way off these plains, and they are obviously you've mentioned the portals, so there isn't all hope is gone yet, fellows. We can still get out of here. We just sit tight.
Yeah, it's been a lot to take in. I'm fine with resting if that's what we're gonna do. But if other people want to keep talking, I think it's reasonable for them to like say, "Hey, can you give us a tour of the place and then show us where we can sleep?" Yeah. I think that's reasonable.
Brush is like, no, we have to, and Kaon like shoves him away. These two have a very, it's an odd relationship. And Kaon goes, yes, once again, I can't stress enough, we are not good at guests. That's not a thing that we do. Please, let's take a quick look at the top of the world, and then we'll get you back to Torum, and you can have some food. I'm sure he's made something lovely. All right, so Kaon starts leading you, and Brush actually goes the opposite direction to that. I should clarify the buildings we have here. In the bottom left of the map, you guys see that is the tavern. It looks like a fucking tavern. It has 2 floors. And that little covered hatch in the back is a like storage / kitchen area. Then you also have ops, horse, cart, and tent. The top left of the map, that is a tall spire-like tower that reaches up an indiscriminate height. Sort of like, as you look at it, it's hard to tell how high it goes. It's like no matter how you look at it, your eyes can't fully understand what's going on there. Kaon leads you to the other side of the bridge where you have a wooden house that is very well made, and it's an old sort of rustic style, and he gestures, this is where I sleep. And then sort of right down the path a little bit, surrounded by a couple more trees, is a very industrial and like simply made stone building, and he goes, we'll go over, but let's step lightly. And you all walk over to that, and he doesn't even open the door. But it is slightly cracked. You see a couple of messy tables, vials, books strewn about the place. The place is, frankly speaking, a goddamn mess. He goes, Danabella's current residence, she likes to be kept to her privacy. And you all walk down past the well, and there's a tent next to the well, and he gestures to that, and he goes, that's a Hino thing. I frankly don't have an answer for you. Sometimes she sleeps in a tent. He just kind of shrugs. And then he doesn't actually walk much further past the well, but he does point to the long house that is sort of a butt to the water there, with the sort of like ferns and stuff along the edge. And he goes, and that is where Hino sleeps and fights, and it's very loud, and she does it at all hours, and it's quite annoying. Anyway, and then he takes you back across the thing.
What about the Minotaur?
Torum he lives in the tavern.
Okay.
He points over to the tall like hand of stone that is reaching out of the water. He goes, once again, no idea. My understanding is that all of the things here are things Bard likes and just sort of drops here. Hence this tree, and he taps on the tree next to him. He goes, this is a Freljordian firwood. It shouldn't be able to survive up here. It should be dead, but it's not.
It's convenient that Bard really likes houses, so you guys have lodgings.
No. He made those for us, or they made themselves. It's frankly confusing.
Also, other question, where do y'all get food and supplies?
Well, for the more interesting things, fish, for example. We love fish. Salavori tends to bring that to us, and we exchange whatever we may have. Mostly, Danabella takes care of that. She has various items that she creates that Salavori seems to very much have use for. But a lot of things just appear in Torum's storehouse. Kaon returns you all to the tavern, and Hino, Salavore, and Torum are sitting at a table, chatting, and Torum has put out some plates of general food, some dried meats, a nice-looking soup that's kind of steaming up, some other stuff you don't quite recognize. Maybe that's like a minced pie. What the hell is that thing? And just some sort of food scattered about the table, and as soon as you come in, Torum like stands to like free up 2 chairs, because he's a large man. And Torum sort of offers you guys to, come have some food and stuff.
Oh, I'm down on this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I guess we do that.
I'm chowing down.
So yeah, everyone sits down at the tables. There's like some card games and such. There's a set of Tellstones for playing Tellstones for all you kids at home that love Tellstones, which is a common Runeterran. It's like the most common gambling thing other than cards.
If there's somebody playing cards and stuff, I would use that for a lot of my time before.
Salavori will play cards against you.
Hey, Salvatore, do you believe in luck? Because I'm using a card for this.
Just do a straight D20 roll. And Salvatore goes, whoa, hold on. Before we get into it, what would you like to wager? Now, I saw you throw a little something in that river over there. You get something interesting for your good friend Op?
I hold gold gears up.
He goes, okay. I'll tell you what. Those gears, anything in my wares.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yarno rolls a 19. Yarno plays a hand equivalent to a 19 in a D20 in Runeterra cards, and you, after an annoying amount of time, and you've taken all of Salvore's chips. Op goes, "Oh, I knew I should have cheated," and he goes, "Yeah, we'll take care of it in the morning."
I'm gonna come up to Hino and be like, "Hey, I am really sorry for touching your spear. I understand that was wrong. Very interested in what cool magical powers that thing has. Hi, I'm Basilio."
Basilio, roll a wisdom check.
Yes.
I'm not good at that one.
Yes.
That's only a 6.
Sort of like as you finish the sentence, you're sort of like trailing off, and your eyes are moved from her to the spear that is like not on her back, but it's like,
oh my god,
against the chair she's sitting in, and you want that spear.
Oh, come on. No.
This guy got joined by a spear.
You want that spear real bad, and then all of a sudden you don't, and you're back to like, whoa. And Hino is like she's like whispering over her shoulder to the spear, like, "Stop it! Shut up! Stop!" And she's like arguing with it, and she goes, "Hino, apology accepted," and she offers her hand to you to shake.
I mean, I take the lady's hand to shake it. You know what? No, he gives a little like sideways enchanté kind of thing.
Weird handshake, okay, and takes her hand back. Moving on. Does anyone else have any bits they'd like to do at dinner? So after everyone eats and drinks and sort of like, is able to, thank God, relax for the first time in so long, you basically killed an eldritch deity today. It's a big day. Torum sort of like stands up from behind the bar and's like, "I think we should all, get to bed, as it were." And then one by one everyone leaves, and Op goes, can I stay in one of the upstairs rooms?" And Torum like pushes him out, and he sends him back to his tent. And Kaon's the last one to leave, and he says something to Torum and actually like shakes his hand, like pats him on the shoulder. And then Kaon heads off to his house. And Torum looks at you guys. "Okay, whenever you're ready, there's rooms upstairs for you. Just grab whichever one. Doesn't matter."
Is there enough rooms, or we all have to share?
"Oh, there's enough rooms."
Okay, Basilio like calmly says like, "Thank you."
Yeah, I'm still going for a swim first, though.
Okay, Ebrak goes for a swim.
I won't go up to my room until Ebrak comes back from his swim, because I want to make sure he's okay.
Basilio, Deltram, and Akram head upstairs, and you see a line of rooms on either side of, like, so you go up the staircase, it's a round staircase, and you see a line of tavern rooms on either side. They're just doors.
I choose the closest one.
Okay, Deltram goes to his door and opens it up. Deltram, what does your bedroom look like?
It is it's chilly. Like, I open the door and it's chilly, right? And there's wooden walls, and it's got like a fur sort of rug in the middle, right? And sort of a fur bed on top of some logs, right? It's kind of makeshift.
Okay.
It's like wood and fur is pretty much the aesthetic of this room. And I really want to stress that it's chilly. Like, if you put your hands on the wall, it's like there's cold coming in, and it's like, ooh. And I'm like, it's not comfortable, but it's comforting in its familiarity.
Do you sleep under the stars, or is there a roof?
It's open roofed.
All right. Akram, what does your room look like?
I feel like it's wooden. I feel like there's a balcony overlooking a view of like the ocean on the outside. There's like the constant cycle of a lighthouse.
Ooh.
So like just light passes by every however many seconds. That's almost like counting sheep and how I fall asleep usually.
Cool. Basilio, what does your room look like?
It is white marble with lined gold engravings everywhere.
God.
The
Jesus.
bed is also all pure white. Just the thread count is incredible. There's probably also a balcony. You can hear the sounds of the jungle outside. It's great. It's excellent.
Ebrak, how's your swim going?
Swim was very pleasant. I'll take my swim, then dry off and head to my room.
What does Ebrak's room look like?
It's definitely open roofed. My bed is honestly more just like a hammock, 2 wooden posts with a hammock tied between them. Other than that, there's not much else in it. It kind of feels like it's the crew quarters on a ship almost.
It's a very Spartan layout.
bullseye on the wall in case I want to chuck some axes at it.
Yarno, what does your bedroom look like?
So my room has a floor that's like see-through, and all of the stuff that I have collected on my journeys or anything that reminds me of anywhere else is like in there. So you just see a bunch of like random objects below. It's glass over that, and then it's got like a tint of blue hex tech, just like kind of ambience over the room or whatnot. My bed is just like leaves and stuff because that's what we had in Bandle City. And my sky or whatever the ceiling would be open, and I would have a skylight of Zon/pillar.
Everyone eventually manages to get to sleep. It was, I assume for varying ones of you, it was not so easy. It's a big day, a lot of information to take in, but you were also very tired, so that probably contributes to helping. Ibrak and Yarno, I need a wisdom saving throw while sleeping for both of you.
14.
Oh yeah, I rolled a 1.
Okay.
Okay. Ibrak, you wake up. You are not in your bed, though. You're outside. You're actually by the river. You're by those stepping stones that sort of cross over the river, not by the bridge. And you just realize you've been sleepwalking. Roll a perception check for me.
I rolled another 2, so
Jesus. All right, so yeah, you're very confused and look around, and it's it is still, it's darker now, but it's still quite bright out, mostly because of the stars above that are so bright, and the constellations, and even the moon. But you see, standing on the bridge, someone's over there.
can I tell who it is?
No, not with the two. You can't, bud.
All right. I'm gonna go back to bed.
Okay. Ibrak returns to bed. Yarno,
Yes.
you're dreaming, but it's incredibly lucid. And you walk out of the tallest tavern, and to your right, in that sort of spot that the discolored grass that Kaon pointed to was, there's a house. There's lights on inside, and there's music.
Do I recognize the music any familiar location-wise, or is it just like, is it sad? Is it happy? What am I noticing about this music?
It's happy music.
Okay.
So, Yarno, you walk over to the house, and like instinctively, you just open the front door. Like it's not. So you wouldn't knock. You're welcome here, and you walk in, and it's a party. You see everyone. You see Ibrak is like talking with Basilio in the corner, and Akram is like sort of like telling a joke to the two of them.
Now you know it's a dream.
Yeah. Deltram better not be talking to anybody.
Deltram is sitting with Kaon and Hino's actually playing an instrument, which is coinciding with the other instrument being played. And as you sort of sweep the room, you see everyone else. You see the rest of the cast, as it were, that's up here. And you see the other source of music, which is a piano. And sitting at the piano is the Gaunt Man.
Oh, no.
Oh,
But
shit.
he looks different. He doesn't have that discoloration in his hair, and his arm is still wrapped, but he's wearing a much better fitting like coat and shirt and attire and all that stuff. And there is a woman sitting next to him.
Okay. Does the woman wearing the same kind of gear / clothing as him, the Gaunt Man?
So you recognize the clothing she's wearing, but you don't. You for some reason remember Ibrak telling you what kind of clothing she's wearing, and it's Ionian. But it's not. But it's not like he knows.
Is she like talking with what is she doing at the Gaunt Man? Just like next to him, or
She is singing. Yarno, you have control of yourself again in this stream.
I'm gonna request a song from Bandle City to the Gaunt Man. Actually,
He speaks, and he doesn't speak in the hoarse voice you're used to.
okay.
Yarno, for you, my good man, absolutely anything. And he starts to play a Bandle City song that he had heard at some point in his life.
Okay.
And Yarno, at some point during this whole interaction, you turn towards the door, and you see there's someone standing in the doorway, and that is the Gaunt Man you know. Old-looking, tired-looking, discolored hair, cane, wrapped arm, all that.
And as soon as I see him, can I do like a double back? Like, oh shit, is he like right next to me again? Or
Yeah, no, they're both there. There's
Oh my God.
There's two of this man.
I'm gonna point at the Gaunt Man and tell the guy playing the piano. I was like, what's going on? Like try to nudge him towards him. I was like, is that you?
Everything freezes.
Yeah.
except you and the gaunt man, the one that we know, the one who took the sword. And he looks at you and goes, "Better times, weren't they, Yarno?"
Weren't you just playing the piano? What's going on? Is that you from the past, the future? What's...
He goes, No, it's not. It's neither of those. It's... Well, at one point, you and I were both here, together. It was very nice. And he is lost, sort of, like, he's not looking at you anymore. He's looking at himself, and he's looking at the woman next to him on the piano bench.
I recognize this woman, but somehow I don't. Do you mind telling me who she might be?
She is the most important woman in the world.
Damn.
What?
And Yarno wakes up.
I got fucking chills. That was good.
Yarno, you wake up, and so does everyone else, to the sound of banging. Not banging so much as, like, rattling. And it's like you hear like a thump, and sort of everything in the whole tavern is kind of shaking just a little bit. And you hear the voice of Torum, which is gonna be not great because I'm already getting hoarse. Hey, you're gonna want to come take a look at this. And Yarno, as you're leaving your room, do you collect all your things before you head out?
Yes, all my traveling gear at least.
Yeah. Well, as you sort of like get your shit together and you tuck that bard coin back into your bag. Roll a history check.
I never had a bard coin. You might have.
Don't you?
No.
Oh shit! You got it in the dream, dog.
Yarno, as you're collecting all of your things, there's a bard coin on your desk.
I immediately called. Daltrim, did you leave your bard coin in here?
No.
No, I like that.
No.
Yarno, roll a history check.
Ooh, I'm good at those. Hell yeah. I got a 17.
For a split second, you remember a name. And then it sort of like leaves you. I'm going to message you a name. And just remember that in character, Yarno forgets this name like a second later.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
It's my name, isn't it?
Okay.
Deltrim is the gaunt man. He's the villain this whole time.
Okay.
Basilia's kind of grumpy. He's not a morning person, but he goes down.
What time of day person is Basilia?
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, listen, when my bed is that nice, would you want to leave it? Come on.
Fair. I got the Helix mattress, sponsor us. It's pretty fucking good. Okay, so the five of you head downstairs, and Torum is standing there, kind of like awkwardly standing halfway between like the doorway of the tavern and like in the tavern. Big guy's here. Underneath one of the trees outside, you see Bard, the large being floating about and talking. At least he's gesticulating and the like to Brush and Kaon. And Brush notes that he can translate for Bard. So if you have questions, now be the time.
What the fuck?
I hold up my bard coin in front of the group. Yarno holds it up and says, "I seem to have acquired one of these as well without Bard even giving this to me."
Basilia makes a joke. Wow, Deltrim or Akram, did Yarno steal from you guys too?
only their hearts.
Sort of at the question, what the fuck? Brush goes, I mean, yeah, honestly, what the fuck? And Bard makes more of those chiming, deep bell-like noises that he makes. And once again, one of those shimmering golden images appear, just like the one he showed you back in Buildwater. And once again, it's the world with all those lights, those sort of like pillars of light. And then suddenly, all of those lights go out. And Bard makes a sad noise and sort of like gesticulates a little bit more. And a meep, one of those little like spirits that follow Bard around, hops up from his shoulder onto the top of Brush's like staff. So, Bard once knew where all of those items, like the sword you failed to get, he knew where all of those were, but now he can't locate them like he could even like days ago. But there is another way to find them. And the globe turns and zooms to Piltover and Zon. Starting from the very bottom of the Zon Gorge, you climb and climb and climb until you are standing at the entrance of a very large building. Yarno, you know this building to be the Ecliptic Vault, formerly the most secured bank in Piltover until Jinx blew a hole in the front of it and robbed a hefty amount of items from it. now rebuilt and considered to be more secure than ever. I'm going to say if you want to explain that to the party, just say I explained it to the party.
I would do that, yeah.
And we fly straight through the front door, through wall after wall after wall, deep, deep, deep into this building, into a vault. And here, sitting on a platform, is an item. It's a shining scroll that seems to be locked on multiple sides, made of, well, it's hard to tell, but gold, because everything's made of gold in this image. This is, well, there's not really a word for it in any language, but this is an item that can find the rest of those things that Bard is so affixed with. The items that he needs, or needs, I guess, other people to not have. Look, I'm trying over here.
You think we're gonna go to Piltover and Zahn and steal from the vault? One of the hardest and most guarded facilities, probably in Runeterra.
Bard makes a noise, and Brush goes, yes, he does think that, yes.
Facilio says, listen, we're going to need to build a team of specialists. I think we're going to need to get 6 more people in here, call ourselves Ebrax 11.
So, what's your AC?
16.
Ooh, I rolled a 22. So I stabbed you with my trident.
Stab me! I love that we are such a motley crew. We literally, like, all of our characters hate each other.
I like Yarno and Akram. I am neutral towards Deltrip. You just bitch constantly.
I love this fucking party. So Brush goes, will you do that?
It's very complicated.
Yeah, I was going to say, do we really have a choice? Like,
And at that question, Brush goes, frankly, no answer. Bard makes several noises, almost like insistently speaking to you guys, but Brush is the one translating. He goes, okay, I get it, big guy. Bard would like to clarify that it's more along the lines of, if we don't get this, everything ever dies. Quick shot reminder to that thing that he showed you before of all the lights going out and then the world falling apart.
You know, I'm down.
We just got to make sure whatever this thing is, it doesn't suddenly blink out of existence when we're about to grab it this time.
And that is the problem. Because, and that map zooms back out, and you see over Bilgewater is a black spot. The golden map of Runeterra is there, and that part is dim.
One more question while we have Bard and a translator.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to describe the Godman to both of them.
Thank you.
If they know who he is.
My other idea.
Okay, I'm gonna say that you described the Gotman's appearance. Bard, he sort of like he moves his hand and the globe like moves to the side so he can make a new golden image, basically. Like piece by piece, you see a image of what the Gotman roughly looks like appear, almost like a police sketch.
I had a dream where he looked different and much friendlier, happier.
And then it makes a second Gotman, sort of floating there in the golden energy that is the younger version that Yarno saw.
Okay.
And Kagon, Bard, and Brush all look sort of like back and forth between each other, as if they're communicating without saying anything to you. So this man isn't in the right place, is what he said? You're pointing at Bard. And I have no idea what he means by that.
That's the guy who took the sword you're talking about before we all got teleported here.
And when you say that, Bard points to the young version of the Gone-Man.
No, the old one.
And Bard shakes his like head, and the bells on the back of his horn jingle, and he points to the young one again. We're getting off track. This is important, and I mean, I have no idea what's going on with this man, and I don't know how he, as Yarno said, appeared here. Brush and I will think on it. That's the best I can offer you, really. In the meantime, I do believe Bard is insistent that this item is pressing, and we get it soon.
Well, I need to get my trinket from Pilty over there.
So you go to look where Ops, Cart, and Buggy are, and it's not there.
Son of a bitch.
He swindled you.
I mutter in like fucking a bunch of Piltover slang that no one else can understand because my Piltover guy is gone.
And Bard takes his weird flute instrument out, plays a little tune, and a portal appears. And Yarno, man, you recognize that even able to barely see through that portal. That's Piltover and Zom, baby.
I dash through.
Basilio makes a dexterity roll to see if he can get through first.
Okay, I'll do it too.
I got a 15, but that might not win.
16.
No!
So Basilio and Yarno dash for the portal because they're idiots, and Yarno actually slips through Basilio's legs, like the sliding like roll and a leap, like fucking Mario. And Yarno gets to the portal first. The rest of you got anything before you leave?
I just sigh.
Kegon looks at the three of you and goes, "Oh, that was quick of them. Good luck. I wish I could say we could help, but we really can't."
Shrug my shoulders at Kagon and walk through the portal.
Ebrak and Deltram, you going through?
Oh, I've been through.
All right, Ebrak.
Yeah, I'll bring up the rear again.
You guys are all standing at the boundary grounds, which is sort of the place between Piltover and Zon. It's neither really either of them. Zon. It's where the two lines of the city blur. And Yarno, the five of you have exited in a alley. Nothing really specific about this place, but you do notice one thing of varying note about this. You're about a block and a half from Yinkits Trinkets.
Oh my god. This is easy. All right. Fellas, stick close by. Keep all of your possessions in your sight because there's a bunch of, how should I put this? Campunks that like to swipe and steal a bunch of stuff. Not me. I know you're all glancing at me, but just don't trust anybody in these streets, okay?
And so yeah, Yarno, are you leading everyone to Yinkits Trinkets, I assume?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. So you guys round a corner, a bend, and come up on a sort of a walk street. For those of you who don't know, Piltover and Zon is built around a gigantic gorge that shoots down the middle from the very top of the city, Piltover, to the very bottom of the Zon Gorge. And the city is basically split in a very deep V shape. So like there's against the wall of the gorge, there's buildings on either side, and there's a huge space in between, usually with some bridges and stuff across it. Yinkits Trinkets is on one of the edges, basically. And yeah, you round the corner onto this sort of like walking little path. And Yarno, you sort of like turn with a gesture of like, Yinkits Trinkets, baby! But the sign doesn't say Yinkits Trinkets.
Oh, fuck.
What does it say?
The sign says Emil's Emporium. And that is where we end this episode for today.
So mad. I'm so mad.
That was very good. What a great ending.